All right, so let's get into the story, man, with Chris Brown. First and foremost, let me say this: I am a Chris Brown fan. Um, I believe he has a talent like no other. He's a great entertainer. What he has done for an R&B is nothing short of amazing. So definitely give him his flowers while he is still living and while he is still in his prime and able to do everything that he can do at a very high level. The man can sing, the man can dance, the man can do it all. Um, I want to get into the story of the NBA celebrity game that happened on last night on Friday night. And the reason why I want to talk about this because a lot of times, have you ever been around, whether it's a group of people or around a business or around your so-called fake friends of people or even in relationships, how people do not know how to let things go and how you'll have certain people that try to hang things over your head as long as possible that can affect you, try to affect you mentally, try to affect your bottom line, how you get paid. And I want to delve into this conversation with Chris Brown because I feel he has been giving a lot of unfair treatment where you have certain businesses that's still trying to hang things over his head of things that have happened years ago. Is Chris Brown perfect? No. But show me one person who's perfect. You can't tell me one person who's perfect. Everybody have made mistakes in their life. Everybody have gone through things that I know that they wish that they could take back and they can't, but he has faced his issues. He's probably still dealing with issues even to this day, but he still has done a lot of great things for R&B, a lot of great things for the communities, and he is doing the best that he can. Now, I want to get into the story because he made a statement because I know everybody know that Chris Brown loves to play basketball. That's first and foremost. He loves to play basketball. He's a pretty good hooper. And he had claimed that he was uninvited from the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game. And he made a statement. He said that I was asked by the NBA to play in the All-Star Game this year, only for them to call later and say I couldn't do it because of their sponsors like Ruffles. You know, Ruffles, the potato chips company. I have an issue with that because if Ruffles denied him or say they didn't want him a part of the celebrity game, then I would like an explanation of why you wouldn't want Chris Brown in the NBA celebrity game. Now, Chris Brown went on and said another statement, and he said, I'm sick of people and these businesses bothering me, and I'm tired of living in the effing past. That's his quote. And I agree with him wholeheartedly. I agree with him wholeheartedly. Let me tell you something, man. This man is still doing tours. This man is still doing bookings. People are still booking him. This man is at winning at a very high level still to this day, even after all the backlash, and some of it was self-inflicted, but it is time to let this negativity go of Chris Brown. Now, they made it a point and said that it's the second major event in a week that Brown has seemingly been excluded from. Now, I think it's very important to bring this up because there was commotions and talks about there was a scuffle between him and Usher. So let's kind of get into that a little bit. Now, Usher confirmed in a recent interview that he did not consider Chris Brown for a cameo at his Super Bowl halftime show. So Charlamagne the God on the Breakfast Club had asked him, did you have in mind Chris Brown? And you could kind of tell with Usher in his emotions, in his body language, and how his eyes kind of like was rolling a little bit in the back of his head, and you could just kind of tell he was just trying to be as professional as possible. And Usher responded to Charlamagne the God by saying, "No, I did not reach out to Chris Brown. I'm not going to tell you everybody I reached out to. I reached out to some hitters. I was curating what would be one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time, and it actually turned into that because of who I reached out to." This is what Usher said. Now, let me just say this. Chris Brown went and posted on his story, and he had said that I was asked by the NBA to play in the All-Star game this year, only for them to call later and say that it couldn't do it. They couldn't do it because of their sponsors like Ruffles. At this point, I'm sick of people bothering me, and I'm tired of living in the effing past. I posted the email so y'all could see. The NBA still was trying to get me to come out and sit courtside, not effing happening. And I don't blame him on that. So you want still my star power. You want me to still show up courtside, but you don't want to support me in being involved in the NBA celebrity game. Now, I understand from a business perspective, the NBA cares about their bottom line. And more importantly, they care about their relationships that they have with their sponsors, right? So it's very important. And if I was Chris Brown, I understood or understand why he put this information out here. I don't have a problem with it because he is hurt, because this man wanted to be on one of the biggest stage, and what biggest stage besides him performing on tour or getting bookings and things of that nature, playing something, a sport that he loves, which is basketball, on one of the biggest stage of the weekend, which is the NBA. Now, Kai Cenat has been thoroughly roasted despite being on the winning team for the NBA All-Star Celebrity Game. Cenat was spotted being close to tears during the trophy ceremony. Now, Kai Cenat is one of the streamers, one of the big time streamers who was on Twitch, and probably he's still on Twitch, but he became a household name. He had Nicki Minaj on his platform, and it blew up. And he actually had a whole skit, him even walking to the game, to the arena from outside, had Steph Curry that was walking beside him, and he only scored 4 points. Only scored 4 points. But then he had a post game, similar to, or tried to be similar to, the Kobe Bryant pose when Kobe won his first NBA championship, and he had the jacket on and he was sitting in a chair with holding the trophy in his hand and the champagne bottle at the bottom of his feet. But I say all that to say this. I believe the NBA got this one wrong on one side of the spectrum. On one side of the spectrum, I understand why the NBA did what they did, because they care about their sponsors. That's how they're able to move their bottom line up. It's by their sponsors, right? The sponsor plays a big portion of why the NBA are able to do some of these things that they're able to do for NBA All-Star Weekend. So they're going to care about what their sponsors thinks. But at the same token, man, what trouble Chris Brown has been in, where it was so damning, where you can't allow this man to get on the basketball court and play basketball. What like, come on, man. Come on, man. All this man wanted to do, you already called him up, NBA, the commissioner, Adam Silver. You already called him up and approved him, and you wanted him to play in the NBA celebrity game. You know he could play basketball. You know it will be something to watch. But to go back on your word on the tail end and to say that he won't be able to play because of one of your sponsors that don't want him to play, I have a problem with that. And then in the same breath, You want to really have him sit courtside so you can still take advantage of his publicity, of his fame and his stature. I don't blame Chris Brown for not wanting to be a part of it at all. And he just said, F it. At the end of the day, man, at the end of the day, I hope that the NBA is able to move forward and Chris Brown is able to move forward and not continue to deal with some of these issues that he's dealing with. Once again, I do understand that some of the stuff that Chris Brown has been through was self-inflicted and some of the stuff that he put himself in. But at the end of the day, let's move on, ladies and gentlemen. Give this man his flowers. This man is a wonderful entertainer, and he's not a bad guy, as some of these sponsors and some of the people are trying to make him out to be. He's not. Now, I understand with the commotion, one of the most recent things with the commotion with Usher. Now, Usher had an opportunity to put it out there. Charlamagne the God had said on the Breakfast Club when they had Usher on that he heard that there was a scuffle between them two. And Usher had said, no, there wasn't no scuffle, man. He said he has no problem with that man. And he said they're good. And you have to take what Usher said, what he said. He said that they're good and there was no scuffle. Let's move forward. Even if you have these theories out here and still believe or still don't believe Usher and you still think that there was a scuffle and Usher is really covering for him, you have to take his statements on what he said, that there was no scuffle, and he said that we're good. So let's move forward. Let's push forward for 2024, man, and let's continue to hear great music from Chris Brown. Y'all let me know in the comment section. Do y'all like what the NBA did far as in inviting him to play in the NBA celebrity game? And I'm gonna put the article in the description. And then they backed out when one of the sponsors had an issue with having Chris Brown playing in the NBA celebrity game. Y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the description, in the comment section, and stay tuned to the next video. And don't forget to like and subscribe to Royal Figures. Take care.